Hey guys, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. On Monday, we went through the Monday Night Raw roster and their chances of main eventing a WrestleMania, and now we're going to do the same thing for SmackDown and their roster as SmackDown is tonight. So let's get right into it. Probably a relatively short video today, but we're just going to go through this and talk about each of these superstars a little bit and their chances of main eventing a WrestleMania. So we're starting off with Alba Fire. I feel like every time her name comes up, I say the same few things. Such a good wrestler, not being used at all correctly on the main roster. Hopefully one day she gets that opportunity, but it's hard to believe that there's any chance of her main eventing a WrestleMania with the current path that she's been on. Aleister Black, however, has been taken more seriously since his return. I could see him getting to that level one day if they put the effort in. I'm just not sure that they will. Alex Shelley, there's no chance that the Motor City Machine Guns do that. I don't think they've even been on TV since like November, and it's February 6th as of time of recording. So there's just no shot. Maybe tonight they'll be on SmackDown, maybe next week they'll be on SmackDown, but as of right now, there's no shot. Alexa Bliss is a massive name. She could main event WrestleMania at any point, and I don't think anyone would bat an eye. Angel, there's no chance. Maybe they can get into a Triple Mania main event with the tag teams in some way. Not on WrestleMania. Angelo Dawkins, unfortunately, there's no way for him to main event WrestleMania. Apollo Crews, he's recently returned on main event, but he lost to Kit Wilson. There's no way he's going to be main eventing a WrestleMania. Axiom, he's been doing better work. I've realized his finisher to me is a little of a low point for me because his other moveset's so crazy that when he does his finisher, I forget what it's called. It's like a running kick sort of thing. Reminiscent of something Sonya Deville used to do in my head, which doesn't scream finisher to me when his moveset's so crazy. But suffice to say, I don't think he'll be main eventing a WrestleMania unless something drastically changes for Axiom. BFAB also injured right now, but I don't think she'll have a good chance of main eventing a WrestleMania. There's a lot more that still has to click with her. I hope she gets there, and she definitely has the ability to, but I don't think she's going to be main eventing a WrestleMania. Berto, same thing with Angel, copy paste. He's not going to be main eventing a WrestleMania. Bianca Belair, been there, done that. Her and Sasha Banks main evented night one of WrestleMania, the one off the back end of COVID with the pirate ship. It was fucking sick. It was one of my favorite matches ever. I loved the drama. I loved the suspense. I think the night after COVID finally having a crowd again, and then the storm that happened, if you remember, delayed the show. Samoa Joe's in a poncho, and finally you get to that big main event, and it's Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and they're looking at each other trying not to cry, and then they lock in and they put on just a fucking all-star match. One of my favorite matches of all time. Anyways, Bianca Belair definitely should be main eventing WrestleMania again. Arguably, she should have main evented WrestleMania. She could have with Becky for the second time, and she could have with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in that triple threat last year. So hopefully that happens for her again at some point. Candice LeRae, unfortunately, will not be main eventing a WrestleMania. I think she already found her niche, and I think she's going to stay around there. Carmelo Hayes, one of the best talents that they have right now, hopefully one day will be at that caliber. I want to see Carmelo Hayes win world championships. At the moment, he's stuck in the United States Championship picture. I say stuck, but he's a great United States champion. The open challenges are so fun. Hopefully he gets on the WrestleMania card this year. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of hope in them putting him in a main event because I don't even have hope in them putting him on the card even when he's a champion. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen, but I sure hope it does. Charlotte Flair, been there, done that, and she probably will do it again and again and again. Honestly, as she should. She's an amazing wrestler. She's finally getting cheered right now, which is great. I could see the tag team titles somehow taking her to the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 this year. But I think in the future she could definitely main event again. Chelsea Green, I don't know if she could main event to WrestleMania. I mean, she's definitely a talent worthy of it, but a lot would have to happen for her to get to that level. I definitely want to see her with a Money in the Bank run, a cash-in, a championship win. I could even see her on a WrestleMania in a singles match with the work that she does. But unfortunately, I don't know if I feel like they treat her as so much of a joke, and they do this a lot, where then because of that, I can't see her main eventing WrestleMania. Maybe a Miz type WrestleMania main event, so it's not a 0% chance, but not the highest. Chris Sabin, there's no way that Chris Sabin is in a main event to WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes, been there, done that. Main evented multiple WrestleManias. Probably will main event multiple more. Damian Priest. Sorry about that. I just had my dog just my dog just jumped off the couch and I didn't know what was going on. Hey, buddy. Hey, come on up. He's gonna jump on the bed. Good boy. Okay, back to the video. Sorry about that. Damian Priest. I think he's already peaked in the WWE. I don't think he's doing main eventing a WrestleMania. Great wrestler, though. I think he has a long career being a WWE guy if he chooses to have it. Dexter Lumis, on the other hand, does not have a chance at main eventing a WrestleMania. I think the Wyatt Six still have a lot of trajectory to go, a lot of path to ride out, but I don't see him main eventing WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre's been there, done that. Hopefully he gets to again, since that one that he did was with no fans during COVID. Maybe he will this year with Cody and maybe Jacob Fatu involved. I kind of would rather see the women get their chance to do that because Rhea and Io both deserve to main event WrestleMania. But Drew at some point I think deserves to run it back too, as long as the story's there for him. Elton Prince, he's injured right now. I can't see a world where he gets to that main event, but who knows? Maybe Kit Wilson will have so much energy in him that when Elton Prince comes back, they're the biggest tag team in the world. Who knows? Eric Rowan. I do not think he has a chance at main eventing WrestleMania. Same thing with the Wyatt Six, copy-paste for Dexter Lumis. Julia, I don't think she has a chance. I think this beginning of her career has been a little rockier than it should have been on this main roster, and that might be a bad omen for the rest of her time on the main roster. I don't know if she's going to get to that level of main eventing a WrestleMania. Ilya Dragunov, and Jacob Fatu, they both have the talent to main event WrestleMania, and they both should main event WrestleMania one day. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. I think Jacob Fatu might have a better chance because of his last name than Ilya Dragunov has. Kind of just talking about them both here. But both great talents, and both definitely could one day. Jade Cargill definitely has the star power, the entrance, the aura around her to main event at WrestleMania. It would have to be the right story. I don't think she's quite ready yet. If Bianca was coming back to challenge her at WrestleMania, I could definitely see them making that a main event, but I think we'd rather see maybe someone else in that spot right now. But one day, she definitely could. JC Mateo, I don't think there's any way that JC Mateo or any of the MFTs are going to main event WrestleMania. Joe Gacy, copy-paste for Eric and Dexter. Johnny Gargano, unfortunately, I do not think he'll be main eventing a WrestleMania. He's a great talent, but I don't think they're going to know how to use him in that way to get him to that level. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, though, because I love Johnny Gargano. Jordynne Grace could main event WrestleMania. The chances aren't zero, but I don't see it happening. I see her having a great career in the WWE, but I think she's on that teetering spot right now where they're either going to use her great and introduce her great, or they're going to have her lose to Jade Cargill, which she probably should. And then what are they going to do with her off the back end of that is probably going to determine potentially the rest of her career. So she's in a very precarious spot right now in the roster. Hopefully they treat her right. Kevin Owens, been there, done that twice. With Stone Cold Steve Austin once, with Sami Zayn against the Usos again. If he ever is able to come back from injury, which I pray to God he is, he should be able to main event more WrestleManias, in my opinion. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Kiana James, I would have said no way a couple weeks ago. Her Royal Rumble appearance was great, so I think she does have a chance maybe at getting to that level. A lot would have to happen, but she's so fresh and new that you never know. You never know where it could take her. Probably not, but maybe for Kiana James. Kit Wilson, similar to Kiana James, a couple weeks ago I would have said there's no chance. But now with his theme song blowing up and his character starting to click, who knows where he could end up. The shoot for the moon, right? So we'll see with Kit Wilson. I think the chances are probably unlikely, right? But a lot higher of a chance than it was a couple weeks ago for Kit Wilson and Kiana James. Lash Legend is an interesting one. Similar to the last two, I would have said no a couple weeks ago. She's also very new in her career, though, and she had a great showing in the Royal Rumble. I could see her built as a monster heel for someone else, maybe like an Io Sky type, to come in and take down, and I could definitely see that, if they tell it right, being a Mania main event story. Matt Cardona, I don't think it'll happen for him. He's back right now. He's having his revival run in the WWE, but he's already losing matches. I think he's going to find his place settled among the mid card, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think he's going to be main eventing a WrestleMania. Mia Yim, I think she's also kind of found her stride in that lower mid card. She's injured right now. Maybe she'll come back and things will be different, but as of right now, I don't see her main eventing a WrestleMania. Montez Ford, we're not even sure if they're ever going to let him go solo. And if they're not going to let him go solo, he ain't going to main event WrestleMania because the Street Profits haven't been on TV, I don't think, since October. So I don't think there's any shot of him main eventing a WrestleMania unless they let him go solo and then everything from there clicks. So there's a lot that would have to go right for Montez Ford to main event WrestleMania. Naomi, on the other hand, when she returns, she's going to be one of the biggest names in professional wrestling, and if they do that correctly, she could easily find herself in a spot like a main event at WrestleMania. Very excited for her comeback. One of the greatest character developments in the history of WWE happened with Naomi last year, right? Nathan Frazier, I don't think there's any shot of him. Copy-paste for Axiom here. Nia Jax, she could. I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened already. I think a story like the one they told in Australia with Rhea Ripley in that main event during Elimination Chamber where Rhea beat Nia. I think that kind of story would have maybe gotten her into the main event of a WrestleMania, but I think it would have happened by now. But it's still potentially. She's one of the biggest names they have in the women's division for sure. Nick Aldis, I guess we can talk about because he's a former wrestler as well. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Adam Pearce is a greater shot than Nick Aldis, and Adam Pearce is a very small shot. Nikki Cross can't even get a singles match, which she should, because she's a good wrestler. Right now, she's really focusing on being a character, a supporting character in the Wyatt Six, so I don't think it's going to happen for Nikki Cross. Arguably, Paul Heyman is main evented multiple WrestleManias as well, at least as a chauffeur, right? We won't seriously talk about him. I just thought that was an interesting thing to point out. Piper Niven, unfortunately, I don't think she's going to be main eventing any WrestleManias, but I think she has a career for a long time if she keeps playing her cards right. Hopefully she comes back from injury soon. R-Truth, I don't think he's going to main event WrestleMania anytime soon. Love the guy, though. Wish him the best. Randy Orton, been there, done that, multiple time WrestleMania main eventer, and I think he should have maybe one or two more main events at WrestleMania in his future. Rey Fenix, right now he can't get the crowd too invested in him, so I don't think it's going to happen if you're looking at him now. A lot would have to go right for him. Roman Reigns, main evented. Has he beaten the Hulk Hogan's record? He might have beaten Hulk Hogan's record of main events. Just a bona fide WrestleMania main eventer, I think is what CM Punk said, and we're seeing that again this year with CM Punk at Night 2 main event. Sami Zayn, he has main evented in that tag team match. His chances of main eventing again, I think, are slimmer than Kevin Owens. But I will say, with WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia next year, they could easily tell a story of Sami Zayn never winning the big one, always failing against Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, and then this year with Drew at Royal Rumble. I could definitely see him winning the Rumble next year, maybe, and then going into WrestleMania, maybe main eventing, and maybe finally winning the big one. So I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen next year. Shinsuke Nakamura, it's not going to happen. It would have happened if it was going to happen by now. He would have had to have been WWE champion, but we all know how that story went back at WrestleMania with AJ Styles, and how he hasn't been used properly since, except for that one night before AJ Styles retired at Saturday Night's main event, where he reminded us all that he's a great wrestler. But hopefully he's happy collecting his paycheck and getting on TV when he can. Solo Sikoa, I don't think there's a real shot at Solo Sikoa main eventing a WrestleMania, but people do love him right now, so you never know. Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga, I don't think either of them are going to be main eventing a WrestleMania. The Miz, he has already main evented WrestleMania. He won't do it again, but it's cool that he did it that one time. I'm happy for him. Tiffany Stratton, she could main event WrestleMania. She already has a singles match at WrestleMania, despite being such a new wrestler. She only wrestled 3 years before her debut, and then since she's debuted 2 years ago, she's missed Money in the Bank, cashed in, and beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So it would be stupid of me to sit here and say that she had no chance to main event WrestleMania. She has a good shot. Tonga Loa, just like for Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga, I don't think it's gonna happen for him. Trick Williams, he has all the aura in the world right now. It definitely could happen for Trick Williams. Too early to tell, I think, but definitely there's potential there. It's funny that Triple H is listed on both the Raw roster and the SmackDown roster, despite not being an active roster member. But good for him. Uncle Howdy, I don't think it's going to happen for Uncle Howdy. I think they'd have to tell a very specific story. I do hope that we get the Wyatt Six entrance at WrestleMania one day, though, at night, not during the day. If it's an open arena, that would ruin it. But hopefully they get a WrestleMania moment in some capacity at some point. And then Wade Barrett we can talk about, which is kind of funny. I do hope he returns to the ring if he wants to one day. He kind of teased it on the Royal Rumble kickoff show and then didn't enter the Rumble. But maybe that's a hint that one day he will. Who knows? I love Wade Barrett. And then finally here we have Zelina Vega, who will not be main eventing a WrestleMania. I think she's already kind of peaked with what she's going to be able to accomplish in the WWE. But I love Zelina. I think she's a good wrestler. I am higher on her than most people are. But I think that's it for the roster here. And so looking at everyone, I think we did a good job going through them. I will be back again soon. Thank you so much for watching my video, and hopefully SmackDown tonight has some bangers, right? Thanks for watching. Bye.